and welcome back to the Vintage Unicorn Beauty Makeup and Etc. I am Emma, and today I am going to be demoing the Jacklyn Hill Morphe Vault Palette in Dark Magic, which I was surprised to learn. Ooh, look at that. Look at that light. Sorry. Which I was surprised to learn has been the least hot selling of the 4 palettes. I did pick up Armed and Gorgeous as well, and this one just spoke to me a little bit more. I love the dark shades. I love the color story. There is a little bit of shady business going on, which I will get into. If you can see right here, this label, I started looking at it because it wasn't quite flush, peeled it back, and found that the original ingredients, which had Talc before mica, is still there. So, you know, it could be a million things, but we'll talk more about that in the video and talk about their performance, as well as the new Kat Von D Dagger liner, which I am wearing right now. That is some good shit right there. All right, so if you are not subscribed, please consider doing so, and I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you on this side. All right, so let's get started. I have a goodie bag. Not all of it's from Sephora, but it's a nice bag. I like bags as much as I like boxes. Good Lord, do I. Anyway, so we're going to be talking mostly about this. This is the Jacklyn Hill x Morphe collab, and it is in the shade Dark Magic. They are $15 US, so I picked up a couple of them, and the ones that they didn't have in stock I ordered online. So I will be eventually giving you guys a full review. Even though they're not really my cup of tea, they are a $15 eyeshadow palette, and they have some really cool shades. However, I'm a little bit of a box freak, so maybe not everyone will notice this. And I do watch quite a good amount of beauty YouTube drama, I guess. I like it. It's fun. It's soothing. That's weird. So I look at the back, and I saw that there was this rise on the ingredients. And I remember that the Jacklyn Hill Morphe Vault was actually pushed back by like a month or something like that, because people were complaining about the shadow consistency, the formula, etc. So they said, well, they reformulated everything and changed the ingredients. So I was very shocked to see that there are ingredients underneath the ingredients. Now, I haven't fully accessed it to tear it away because it's really glued down there. I mean, they probably pressed this on there harder than their palette shadows. No tea, no shade. So I'm trying to get a little bit cleaner of a view now. And what I can see immediately as far as the ingredients are, it looks like they tried to move the position. They did. Hold. As my suspicions were. So I peeled back as much as I could. The original formulation indicates that talc came before mica. I really want to focus that so you guys can see it. Come on, come into focus. Can you see? Well, okay. Talc, then mica. You pulled back the current ingredients and they switched it mica and talc. Now, why would that matter? Because the mica to talc ratio is what's going to determine the powderiness and ultimately the overall quality of the pressed shadow. So I'm really curious to see whether these perform, whether they are the same, and just, yeah, we're gonna look at it and we're gonna play with it. So it comes in a little bit of a bubble wrappy thing. I have not actually opened this yet, but I noticed in store it's in this kind of dinky cardboard that's white. I'm actually nervous to touch it because I feel like I'm gonna get it really dirty. And it comes with 10 shades. So I mean, 10 shades, $15. That's a really good deal. You're paying less than less than $2 a shadow. So anyway, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let me get my face together. We're going to talk about a couple new things, and then we'll get into that. I'm certainly feeling this like no makeup or minimal makeup, my skin but better whatever vibe. So I'm not going to add concealer just yet. I would rather make a really messy smoky eye and then add concealer later. So opening the palette, like I said, there are 10 shades and there is a little mirror included in there. There are my eyes. But it definitely feels very like Rue 21 makeup. It's this weird kind of cardboardy feel. It's definitely not plastic. It's paper essentially. And that white, I know that is her classic kind of thing from what I've seen, but I just think it's a bad idea to have white shadow. But since it is Morphe, I have my Morphe brushes, and yeah, let's get into it. Just gonna ready myself. So this color scheme particularly struck me because these are some pretty colors you don't see very often. Some dark blues, some dark greens, and some warmer browns that I actually thought were purples, but you know what? It's a really nice color. So there's Poof, which I'm gonna say is an all over eye color, which I'm likely going to use so that I can get a really nice even application and blend things. So I'm gonna dip into Poof with my Scone large shadow brush and set my, oh, that feels nice. It almost feels like a cream. Is it? No, that's definitely a powder. Okay. So there's that. Nice little covering on the eye so that I can blend and such. That Poof color almost had like a color correcty vibe. It's kind of nice. And I will say these are colors that I don't have. And that's cool. I don't think I have a palette that has, some of these colors I don't have in any palette, and some of them I have, you know, very small amounts or in collecty palettes that I'm not planning on using a whole bunch of. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna need a whole bunch of 506s and possibly some larger blending brushes. So I'm just gonna grab a handful of brushes. Let's just grab a handful and I'll use whatever comes to mind. I'm thinking, I kinda wanna use every color, but that may not be plausible. I wanna dip into these matte shades and see what they're working with, particularly the blues, the greens, and the olives. So there is Potion, Busted, and Inside Job. I'm gonna hold them up for you. It's an olive green, a kind of sapphire-y warm blue, and then Inside Job, I don't even know how to describe that color. So I'm gonna put a little bit of a transition shade. This is the shade Shh, S-H-H-H, right here in the middle. It is also a matte shade, just a matte brown, very neutral. I'm just going to see about that in the crease. Okay, so there's a lot of pigment, because I very, very barely touched that. There is no fallout whatsoever, which is cool because this is a damn white packaging. So just want to kind of fill in that crease, give it a little bit of a transition. I hope it doesn't muck up the blue, but we'll see how they play together. So anything can look really pretty on its own. It's about how they play together for a whole look. So just defining and adding a little bit of depth to that crease so that I can put color on top shortly. Now I'm thinking, because these colors seem to be having kind of a cream to, or a powdered cream to powder finish, I want to play with the shimmers. This shade Temptress right here looks very intriguing. So I might do something I don't usually do, which is kind of a halo eye. So why am I talking about it? Let's do it. So I'm going to change up my technique just a little bit today. Instead of going in with my classic 3 brushes, I'm going to play a little bit around, and I'm going to use this. This is my Scone small shadow brush. It's a very dense, synthetic kind of flat brush. I think it will work really well to apply the color Potion, yes, this olive green. So I'm just going to get some on the brush. I'm not really sure how much I should use, so let's just go in and start to fill in. Okay, so there is immediate pigment. And I'm just kind of feathering that up. This brush has the slightest chisel point, and I want to do a really messy kind of smoky look, but I still want to do something flattering. This would be a really nice everyday wear palette, I can kind of tell. And that green looks really subtle in person, but for some reason on camera it's coming off like kapow, I am here. So I'm just going to continue packing that in the outer corner. And eventually I was planning on dragging it in and having it be the lid shade, but it's a little darker than I was anticipating it being. Just looking at it on my eye and in the pan, yeah, that's what I would want it to be, but I expected it would be a lot lighter. I'm actually gonna also, while I have it here, take this moment to begin the smoky eye and just kind of haphazardly, I suppose, bringing that in around my under eye. I'm gonna continue packing that in, match the other side, and then we'll see where we go. That olivey muted green mixed with the brown really nicely. And I'm not even using a blending brush, but they definitely liked to be together. Now I'm still debating what I'm gonna, because my plan was to use this green across the eye. So it looks pretty as an inner corner shade, or as an outer V shade, but let's take it to that next level because I'm gonna be adding darker colors. So I'm gonna take that green and apply it across the lid in a sheer layer, and if I have to buff it out, then I will, but I definitely wanna go for a darker smoky eye effect. So I'm gonna start by more packing the shadow in and then adding gradually. That's a really pretty green and it blended really nicely. I will say it's sometimes difficult, at least with my skin tone, to wear olive greens. I feel like it kind of accentuates my dark circles and such. So I'll probably have to use a lot of concealer, but that's not the color's fault. That's just, it's that color and I chose to use it. So I'm gonna go straight in and start really getting dark with these colors. So instead of using this metal shade Busted, I'm gonna jump into Inside Job with an E35 Morphe brush, and we're just gonna see how that goes. In the outer corner. That's pretty. I'm gonna do this little invisible line thing to keep myself in line, and we're just gonna play. Let's see. Also, by the way, if you have seen on Instagram that outer corner V brush that's like $27, don't buy that. Good Lord. That looks like that looks like a gimmick. For real, it does. So, okay, this has some seriously beautiful pigment to it. It really does. That is a nice green. I want to take that under my eye as well. Really smoke this up. Greens were the color I really wanted to see for the summer, and I'm kind of sad I didn't. But now that I'm seeing them, even though they're a little bit more muted and neutral, I am liking them. So I'm going to match the other eye, and then I'm going to continue going a little darker. Now that I have the rough shape that I want to first play with, I'm going to use a 506, picking up that potion kind of olive color again, and blending this all in. So there's a nice blend. Let's see. You guys are seeing, as I am seeing, these blend together really nicely. I think that they require a little bit of a gentle hand, and that's just that they're a dark matte shadow. I'm definitely not gonna fault them for that, because the color payoff is a little bit undeniable, and definitely a nice color scheme, nice formula for smoking. So let's bring that in and continue buffing. And you know, I tend to blend for a long time. You guys don't need to be watching that. If there's one thing I think Morphe does really well, it is bringing a professional makeup artist feel for an affordable price point. And I think this eyeshadow palette is really doing that for me. It really is. Morphe brushes definitely do that for me. Morphe brushes allow me to have multiples of the same brush. Brushes that are in shapes and application formats that I can easily see as part of the industry, but for $3, $4, $5, $6 a piece. So I think this is doing that, and it's doing it really well. Now that I have that dark green on, the reason that I bypassed Busted, this blue, is I didn't want it to get eaten up, but now I don't think it would have. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a nice little layer of that. And on the brush, that is stark, that is bright. So I'm gonna implement that into this little outer corner deal we got going on. And I wanna bring it in the crease. I wanna do a little bit of a darker crease. And that, oh, that is pretty. These are some pretty colors, guys. I don't know, this was the Vault palette I was immediately interested in. I got a lot of requests to use the Vault palette, so I kind of familiarized myself with it. And the only one that I was super interested in besides Armed and Gorgeous, which is the other one I got, was this one. But when I went to Ulta today, they told me this is the only one that really wasn't selling, which I don't understand, because these shades are beautiful. They really are. Even I can see that they were a little bit intimidating. I'm going in with that same 506, no extra product. I can see that these shades are a little intimidating, but they really aren't. They go on the eye beautifully. They are dark, maybe. I think a lot of people are looking for a little bit more of a light, natural look, but you can still achieve a fairly nude look with this. Like, you know, if you go back to my cuts when I first put the brown on, when I first added the green, that's a fairly natural little color combo. So that blue just really pulled that color together. It really did, really beautifully. Now, I want to work obviously on the inner corner and stuff, but I do want to, because I'm doing a very smoky eye, take that blue color and focus that on my lower lash line. At least on the outer corner of it. I might get fancy and put something special in here. I want a smoky eye. I want a big blue-green smoky eye going on. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? I think we need to blend this little lower lash line. When I want to blend a lower lash line, I don't want to go in with a rounded brush. I usually go in with something like this, which is more of a flat, fluffy brush. And just kind of moving it around slowly. And this might actually accentuate the dark circles, but in a positive way, giving me that really kind of sunken in, smoky look. And it's actually a really pretty look. I don't know what's going on right here though. I don't know if that's the natural discoloration of my face, because I definitely didn't apply product there, so I'll probably concealer that. So let's go in with these shimmers. The olive green is having this beautiful kind of gradient. Really, in person, it's quite amazing how pretty it is, and I don't want to disrupt that. I want to increase that. So over everything that I've put the matte, I want to put a little bit of a shimmer, and there are 3 shimmers in here: Power Cut, Diversion, and Trickery. Trickery I'm definitely going to use in a minute here, but I'm trying to decide which of these will enhance that look, and I think Diversion is the one, but sometimes shimmers don't go on very well with a brush. So let's see. It's a little patchy, it's not super shimmery, so let's hit it with some Fix Plus and see what happens. Okay, so we're going back into Diversion with that same brush, and okay, that's interesting. It's doing what the Thirsty palette did, where it's kind of coming off and becoming almost putty-ish, but there's actual payoff on the brush, so not quite the same situation. I'm just not getting a super bright shimmer, so I may go in with my finger, which, you know, it's not a heartbreaking huge deal. That's how shimmers are, right? We all do that. Let's dig in on the other side and see what goes on. See, I see it producing more of like a gray, not so much a shimmer. I mean, there is a little bit of a shimmer there, but it's actually more like a matte on the eye. It's making a little bit of a mess even. So I'm gonna try with my finger on that same color, Diversion on my pinky finger. That's what it looks like. It definitely has an iridescence to it. And I'm going to blend that. Hey, we're going for a messy, smoky eye. It's all good, right? Okay. I'm gonna continue working on this and cleaning it up, and then we will see. Now in person, the look is a whole lot lighter than on camera. So I want to come in a little closer and show that there is a metallic hue to it, and it actually tied together quite nicely. I ended up taking a larger blending brush and actually blending it across the whole lid. So I did lose that oliviness, but I think the oliviness kind of shows through. I don't think this look would look exactly the same if I hadn't. So I want to take Power Cut, which is the diamondy color. I think that's why it's called that. Yes. A nice diamond opalescent color, and I just want to kind of stamp that in the tear duct, work that around. See, that's kind of pretty. That's kind of okay. All right. I'm also going to apply that on the brow bone. So I guess I kind of showed like a matte and shimmer version, because this has definitely become more of a glimmer shimmer look. So you know what? I'm going to take Trickery and I'm going to put it over where I put the darker colors. Trickery is definitely the color on this palette that caught my eye first. Just those greens, oh, it's beautiful. It's very nice. But I don't see it transferring on camera as a shimmer. It almost looks identical to the color, what is it, Inside Job. There's not that shimmeriness. And it's a little difficult to work with, if I'm being honest. I'm using a 3-2-1 right now, and it's just kind of, it's not going on the way I expect a shadow to go on. That's okay. So I'm going to blend away the mess, and we will keep moving. I am tempted to say, no, I know I'm gonna say, this is a beautiful palette, but I definitely prefer the mattes over the shimmers. There was no way I was gonna create a halo with these shimmers. If I had added dark in the inner corner and then tried to apply it, none of them were really bold enough. And I'm sorry, I said there are 3, there are actually 4 shimmer shades in this palette, because the black at the bottom, a color called Temptress, looks very similar to the shade Onyx from the Kat Von D Glimmer palette. And I just wanna smoke this look up ever so slightly more by gently rubbing that right here in this direct outer corner. And it's actually pulling the look together very nicely. It's a pretty black shimmer. I live for that. That's something that is very cool. I don't want to darken this up too much with a black, just because I have another product we're going to be playing with, which is the Dagger liner by Kat Von D, which launches on August 20th. I've always wanted to do this. Look, I look like one of those, you know, the pictures on the contour palettes. Anyway, I'm gonna blend this. All right, now that I am contoured to the absolute hilt, because that little finger thing did not do me any favors, I did end up picking up my beauty blender. Let's play with the Kat Von D Dagger liner. This looks really interesting. So it's got an angled tip, and I'm just hoping it has that payoff. I will say, of the 3 liners that Kat Von D is releasing, the one I'm most excited for is the one that has not dropped yet, which is the ink liner, the Inkwell liner. Oh my goodness, Inkwell liner. Oh, that looks so cool. So I'm just gonna go in and try how I normally would. Instead of doing my band, I'm just gonna make sure I have this angle right. True first impression. Okay, so that was really easy. This is a really kind of cool product. As long as you make sure you have the tip right. All right, ooh. She's got a nice little line there, hello. I'm so scared to like angle it wrong or something. It's like a calligraphy brush. Okay, okay. I'm being so tentative, it's ridiculous. But actually, it's a really great product. All right, so score 1, definitely gonna get the full size. This liner reminds me a lot of a product that Benefit released, I want to say in 2014-15. I actually ended up purchasing it at the Oakland airport from a vending machine, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. So it was this weird gel liner that was in like a twist out formula, and it was supposed to be for the perfect cat eye. It was going for the same thing, but I think that was a definite miss, whereas this is a definite hit, so I went ahead and finished up, put lashes on, and lipstick. I am wearing Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick. First Smashbox product I've ever owned, and I actually really like it. It's a nice little nudie lip with a little bit more of a warm tone than, say, Jeffree Star's Posh Spice. But there's one more thing I want to do to finish off my face. I have my Morphe Y14 here. I have the Jacklyn Hill palette here. Let's see how these shimmers do. So I'm going to dip into Power Cut, which is that really light kind of diamondy color, and I actually didn't think that would work. Oh, hello. All right, so I think that the shimmers have officially redeemed themselves. Let's match that up, huh? A little bit of a, it's a little dirty, gotta blend it out because it's got that gray kind of ness to it, but hey, all right, all right. Okay, cool. I can get down with that. That's fun, you know? Shoot, I should have used shh as my contour instead of really messing it up with that, Anyway, never mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and my overall opinion of the Jacklyn Hill palette is, for the price point, I don't really care that they covered up the, you know, the ingredients or whatever. Is that a little shady? Maybe. I had someone message me on my Instagram letting me know, hey, maybe they just, you know, wanted to save on packaging. That's perfectly understandable. Even if they didn't change the formula and they just wanted people to think they did, it's a $15 eyeshadow palette. You're getting 10 full-size shades, and they are pretty bomb. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that for me, this is a winner. This is definitely going to keep its spot in my makeup, so I'm gonna put it right here on top of the tower, and I will probably be wearing it for a couple days to come. I do want to try a slightly darker look using that dark shimmer as well as Temptress, that, oh, that beautiful dark black iridescent shade. I love that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you are not subscribed, please remember to do so. It is down, well, depending on how your angle is. For me, it would be down here. I'm hoping it is for you as well. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Mwah.